You ever have one of those days where you're just patching up your own spot, no harm to anyone, and bam, sirens blare, because some neighbor paints you as public enemy number one? Hit me like that. I'm Harlan Reed, 55 back when this storm brewed. Lean frame, but my late wife swore my gaze could pierce steel handy from years as a real estate advisor, dissecting deals to shield folks from sharks. After her battle with illness ended 2 years prior, all I craved was tranquility by the river. Casting lines, flipping pages. No drama. Fate laughed. Enter Dolores Kane, Riverside HOA Queen Bee, wearing authority like armor. Her stare screamed entitlement, like life owed her royalties. Moved to this serene riverside enclave, and she clocked me instantly. Maybe my no-show at those bootlicker meetings rubbed her wrong. Kicked off subtle, slips on my door about unruly shrubs, my hound yapping excessively, pickup angled funny. Shrugged at mostly shrubs edged regulation, hound mute till threats loomed. But Dolores treated my yard like a slum in paradise. Then the crosshairs locked on the dock Dad's labor of love from 1955, logs lugged from the ridges. Schooled me in angling there, knelt to propose to my wife there, soaked in dusks that gilded the currents. Soul tethered to him, departed 15 years. Shared the yarn with Dolores early on, she feigned warmth. Floodgates opened. Formal missives branding it a blight, value killer. Demolish pronto. Venom dripped from the prose, personal as a grudge. Tipping point. Balmy afternoon, I'm bolting wobbly slats with a ratchet. Glimpse an HOA lackey skulking in foliage, filming like I'm disposing secrets. He panics at eye contact, fumbles his device into the mulch, scrambles off. I stand hammer in hand, half amused, but his venomous squint? Echoed Dolores poison, like she'd rallied a mob against my rebellion. Evening dives into Dad's archives, titles, plats. Doc sits beyond HOA turf, cryptic lease hints bubbling. Salvation or snare? Heart raced victim no more. 3 days. Ultimatum via certified post dismantle in 7 or litigate. Fear morphed to fire. Dialed, extended olive branch, bored over for brew and parley. Dolores receiver's smirk oozed triumph, scenting surrender. Gatherings theater. She enthrones, minions mute. Orates on bylaws, legacies. I brew sip, let her excavate her pit. Unveils dossier of gripes, uniform typeface, dubious scrawls. I probe, one author swapping names. Crimson flares, papers vanish. My turn, snapshot of Dad reeling pre-HOA era. Outdates your empire. She flounders on retrofits. I counter, Vetland law of force saber rattling. Exit seething, her glare Arctic fury. Bruised pride. Avalanche incoming. Dawn. Hazmat squad barricades drive. Spouting contamination edict. River gleams pristine. Trout dancing. I quip. Fish too lively. Foreman squints at forms. Crew mutters. Retreats empty-handed. Her tab swells. 48 hours. Errands return to blackout juice. Taps dry. Lineman bolts at my silhouette. Like I'm armed. Dolores strong-armed providers with sham suits. Flicker meal sandwich, era regression. Florida beckon shuffleboard squabbles beat this. But Dad's echo. Yield to tyrants, they multiply. He'd slain his share, shady builders, petty overlords. Backing off schools, intimidation triumphs. Flashlight scrawl, dissect HOA charters. Ring Garrett, zoning was buddy, debt from yestercase. Garrett thrills. Associations rent public swaths, breaches spike tolls. Epiphany doomsday switch. Harassment. Crank their dues skyward. Jitters mount, but arsenal loaded. 7 sunrises, rod dipped at dawn, whales pierce. Patrols flank Dolores Coop. She alights radiant, directing spectacle. Sergeant Dawson edges. Trespass alert, peace breach. I beckon indoors, proofs primed. Dolores unleashes, squatter scourge. Value vampire, menace. I parry with 55 charters, maps doc sovereign, ancient. Then dynamite. Lease clause 4B, power abuse invites rape plea. Lodged yesternight. Her pallor ghosts. Dawson's device chimes. Alert dues leap 600%, $15,000 to $90,000 annum. Air solidifies. Justice, not spite. Lawmen withdraw, non-criminal spat. Dolores shattered poise vows apocalypse. Counterstrike. Barrister barrage harassment, blackmail bluster. vacuous under scrutiny. But whispers fester. Texts blast me as saboteur, coup artist. Isolation gnaws vengeful excess. Sleepless, questioning, milder hike suffice? Or flee, spare the flock? Her crusade peaks, jammed venue, visuals of ruin amenities axed, association ashes. Finger jabs, extortionist vendetta, rage swells. I ascend, facts await. Unveil ploys, staged crises, blackouts. Hikes shield per code. Floathouse ballad, reboot governance. Grumbles flip ovation, her protests engulfed. Yet her malice? Dagger sharp. Inferno brews. Cascade swift. Disclosures, probes. Victor Hale, ledger vet export. Thresholds trembling. Silent sense. Envelopes embezzlement trove renos mast. Fixes. Luxury binges. Chronic theft. Veiled community tabs. Dossier forged. Chronology of fraud. My hounding post-defiance. Dispatch to populace. Media. Prosecutor. Moro. Throng besieges HQ. Dolores shadows blinds. Session seals. Booted 8-2. Stripped bare. Fiscal rot exposed. Swindles plus surge equals insolvency. Unanimous dissolve. Holdings reborn public haven gratis swims. Trails unbound. No edicts on flora or fauna. Dolores cuffed. Larceny. Deceit filings. Terror tactics. Serial across burbs power grabs. Grudge funds. 2 years caged. Full recompense. Statutes evolve. HOA audits mandatory. Appeals streamlined. Abusers hammered. Read precedent echoes countrywide. Queries flood. Kin battles. Council. Scrutinize clauses. Archive all. Endure. Doc endures. Heritage. Uprising. Triumph via cunning calm. Not wrath. One stance shielded multitudes. But chew this. HOA despot eyes your legacy battle or bolt. My surge fair play or wrecking ball. Fraud reveal rescue or rupture. Lines you'd hold. Vent below, like if stirred, sub for kindred yarns. What extremes justify the fight?